What's up, all you beautiful people? Welcome to another episode. So we got some positive feedback from you guys on previous episodes. Said you like this format where we just happen to be running the camera while Anuj and I are having a conversation in between episodes. And so I got on another little soapbox on this one where we talked about how it's better to be lucky than good, but it's even better to be good and lucky. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly why that is and what you can do so that you can become both good and lucky. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Let me know down in the comments if you guys are still enjoying this style of video. And if you do, make sure that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with your best friend and your mortal enemy. And without further ado, let's roll that beautiful bean footage. YouTube channel is no different than a business. You have to put in the reps. You have to understand the algorithm, or aka the market. You have to understand like how to deliver, how to package, how to make a product. So you think about the video as a product. You think about YouTube as the marketplace. Yeah. And once you've learned, once you cracked it, you have to put in like a certain number of reps, I think, to be able to crack it. Yeah. So for my main channel, I spent like a year and a half, 2 years, and put out hundreds of videos and only had 200 subscribers. And you'd say like, oh, those videos were a waste. It didn't do what you had hoped they would do, but they were all just like building blocks, building the skill of the delivery, building the skill of the packaging, building the skill of understanding the market trends and idea, like the idea market of what's going to hit at that moment. So that when we did finally crack it, and then it goes from 200 to 20,000 in the span of like a month, and then from 20,000 to 200,000 in the span of a year, and then 200 to 300, it's the compounding graph. Yeah. Nothing happens until everything happens, and then it all just crazy happens. And once you then have that skill, you've done it once, theoretically you should be able to do it again. Yeah. If you succeeded as a result of iteration and improving your skills, it's totally possible that you just get lucky. Yeah. On all social media platforms, you can just get lucky. In the same way with business too. Like, truthfully, I got really lucky with my first business, and I've told this all the time, is like the window washing was just like, it was the easiest business model I could have landed on. Yeah. Like, it was just no overhead. We had a unique advantage. It was pretty damn easy in the grand scheme of things to sell to people. And so you walk away from that sometimes where you hit the very first ball that somebody pitched to you and you hit a home run. Yeah. And so then you're like, oh, this game is really easy. And then if you're not conscious of it, which I wasn't, then going to like the next businesses, is like, then you just think that every time you swing the bat, you're going to hit a home run. And so then when you don't, you're like, what the fuck is happening here? And so that can happen with social media, whether it's Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn. So it's like, it's always better, instead of trying to just hoping to get lucky, or just like, we talked about this in another video, right? I think it's actually a video that went live today, which is a lot of people can replicate the tactics without understanding the strategy. Yes. Right? So they do the work. They see that you can look from the external and be like, oh, I can see he did this thumbnail and this title. I'll just copy those. And oh, he scripted it like this, so I'll just copy his script and I'll plug in my own stories. You can do that and it will work, theoretically. But then if you want to try to reproduce it on your own and say like, why did it work? Why does that thumbnail work in this way? Why does that title? Why does this thing? Same with business. A lot of business gurus teach the tactics, do this, and it will work. But then if you want to go and replicate it again and again and again in the future, or like make variations as the market changes, because like the YouTube algorithm, I think, is a really good analogy to the marketplace as a whole, because the algorithm's constantly evolving. People's tastes and preferences are evolving, the same with the market is. And so you growing and learning and improving as the entrepreneur or as the content creator is dependent on your ability to understand why the thing is working and why it's not working. Yeah. Right? And so to your point, it should be, if you understand why you were successful, you should be able to replicate that over and over and over and over. Okay. Right? It's like the difference between the primitive person thinking, when I go out on this day of the year and dance naked on a hilltop, the sun god smiles favorably on us, and then summer comes, versus understanding seasons and the movement of the sun around the planet. Or you can see I'm still operating under the Earth-centric view of the universe, the heliocentric. So the Earth goes around the sun. If somebody's listening to this, don't go to the comments, you guys. I'm a big fan of Copernicus and Galileo and all those boys. Just chill. But understanding why the seasons change gives you a better explanation that then you can use to make better predictions in the future and guide your actions. So Naval talks about this a lot. Actually, he talks about it in relation to David Deutsch, who wrote a book, or he's written 2 books called The Fabric of Reality and The Theory of Everything. No, I don't think it's The Theory of Everything. I can't remember what the second book is called. But David is like this high-level physicist who, for all intents and purposes, his theory is simply, the goal of science is to create explanations of what's happening, not predictions. The goal is not to predict, because you can predict what's going to happen with high level certainty in a lot of cases. We talked about this before, of like the turkey that wakes up every single day for, the year, and he is given food by the farmer. He is led to predict tomorrow more food will come because the farmer always brings me food. And that prediction works 99% of the time until it doesn't work, and then the farmer comes out and it's Thanksgiving Day and he kills the turkey, and now the turkey is dinner, right? And so like a lot of time, it was really interesting. Science has really focused in the last couple of decades on the predictive qualities of the theories. Does the theory predict what will happen next? And if so, then people in a lot of cases are happy with that. But David's point is, if the theory doesn't explain why the thing is happening, if it's not a good explanation, then it doesn't matter if it predicts or not. And so in the same way, if we bring this back over to content creation, if we bring it to entrepreneurship, it's not enough just to predict that when I put in these inputs, I will probably 99% of the time make money. Unless your only goal is to make the money, fine. But if you really want to have like the high level mastery and understanding, you need to look underneath the hood and try to understand the why of it. Right. And this is why we give people our playbooks, because we know just giving somebody the playbook, run these plays, will get them results, but it won't give them deep understanding and implementation, which they come back for. They're like, I know what to do. Can you show me how to do it and when to do it and like all the nuances of the context? And this was a conversation that we had, if you remember, with that client. Where he's like, oh, this guy reached out and he said, do this, this, and this, and this. He gave him all these tactics. And he's like, what do you guys think about that? And I was like, well, the problem with those tactics is they don't fit with your context. Right. And so it's knowing which tool to use at which point, which blueprint, which playbook. And if you don't have that deeper level understanding strategically, if you don't have a good explanation for why things work the way they do, then you just run plugging in playbooks and they work sort of. Yeah, and it's really funny because what ends up happening in a lot of cases is it works sort of. You sort of get a result, and then when you finally work with a coach, you work with somebody who really does understand. Like, oh, the reason this isn't really working is because you need to turn the tool 10 degrees this way. Boom, now you get the leverage, and they're like, and then they go shoo boom, right, and then it's like a rocket ship. So that's one of the beautiful things about coaches and mentorships and group coaching programs in particular, because a lot of people on the internet, they're like courses and gurus, information products, they're like scams. Like all this information is available for free on the internet, right? And it's true. It's like there's nothing. I try to put out all of our best content into free mediums like this. But the problem is not a lack of information. It's understanding how to implement it given your unique context. And that is priceless, right? It's like the story of the plumber who, I've told this story before, but it's so valuable, where, if you have a problem with your plumbing down in the basement and you've hired 3 other plumbers and everybody comes and they can't figure out what's wrong with it, they can't fix the problem, but then the 4th plumber comes in, he spends 5 minutes in the basement and then he knocks on one pipe and the problem's solved, and then he charges you $5,000. Right? A lot of people will be like, oh, that's bullshit. Like $5,000, you were down there for 5 minutes, right? Like, but the point isn't that it only took him 5 minutes. The point is he knew where to hit. That was the difference. Like knowing where to hit is the big unlock, and that's why you pay for coaching. It's not for the information. It's for figuring out where to hit. And if you do that, then you grow really quickly. So, yeah.